Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, hope you're having a great day today, wherever you're at. And I wanted to talk about just an interesting article I came across on boxing scene. It was just about and one thing I like about boxing is with boxing as opposed to other sports, you know, with most sports you just follow the sport itself. Well, boxing it's no, it's like this whole fight game. It's like you got the fights, you got the hype around the fights, you got the business side of boxing. For me personally, I'm fascinated by the business side of boxing, TV networks, how fights get made, things like that. That stuff's always fascinated me. So this is what I'm talking about today. A recent article was posted on Boxing Scene where basically Eddie Hearn, promoter of Matchroom Boxing and partner with the Zone, he basically agreed with Bob Arum that Showtime Boxing will be leaving boxing next, just like HBO did. So here I'll read you the quotes, and here's what he said. I quote, "We haven't even launched for 1 month yet, and now you got 32 of our shows, 10 Golden Boy shows. You got Canelo's next 11 fights. It's not just a Rocky Fielding fight; it's 11 of his next fights. You paid $85 for the Triple G rematch, and now you're going to pay for just a subscription. Once we knew about HBO leaving, we knew wherever Canelo went, Golden Boy also went. So it opened up with HBO getting out. Obviously, that was done with Oscar and John Skinner, but ultimately for us, it was about getting Canelo to the table to the Zone. You're talking about 1.1 million people paying $85 for his last pay-per-view fight. He was going to his next fight was going to be on pay-per-view now, but now it's free. I saw Bob Arum's comments that Showtime will follow HBO out of the business. I tend to agree with it. It's going to get so competitive, so fierce. HBO basically said, we don't want this anymore. Everyone's going to have to dig deep if they want to compete. If you're a middleweight contender, you have to be on the Zone. If you want to fight Anthony Joshua, you have to be on the Zone." So those are strong words for Eddie Hearn. And listen, man, I've been covering boxing on YouTube for 3 years now. So I was here before the Zone was even a thing. I was here on YouTube when it seemed like PBC was and Al Heyman were going to take over the boxing game and just have it in a Cobra clutch for years to come when they got all that money from Waddell and Reed. But that's not been the case. And HBO leaving boxing, that was a massive blow to a massive. I don't want to say surprise because the writing's been on the wall, but it was a big thing that happened. And you got to ask yourself the question, with Showtime, Al Heyman, PBC, all parties involved there. It's how sustainable is it for them to continue to function? They do great ratings. They had a fantastic 2017. They've had some highlights in 2018. But you got to look at it now. It's a way different landscape now. You got the Zone, Eddie Hearn. You got forget Eddie Hearn. You got the Zone as a new streaming platform, which I think is amazing. I'm a subscriber myself. It's amazing because you do get the World Boxing Super Series. You do get all the Matchroom shows. Now you're going to get all the Canelo fights. You get, if you're into MMA, you get Bellator MMA. You get a lot of stuff on the Zone. So you're getting value for your money. And I think even more importantly, and this is speaking as somebody who is from the younger generation, is boxing is now more accessible to younger fans like myself. The problem that I think HBO had was that they didn't adapt with the times. They operated with the same 1990s business model. They were on closed circuit television. They didn't, HBO boxing didn't have its own app, so younger fans like myself could be out on the town, and then if we're on a date with our girlfriend and we go to the bathroom, we can go check what's going on in the fight or get updates or anything like that. No, we get home, and it really, boxing wasn't accessible to younger fight fans. But now I think what the Zone has done is they're making boxing more accessible to younger fight fans. So I like that, and I think if Showtime doesn't put on the fights we want to see, the most attractive fights they can offer, and when we talk about attractive fights, we're talking about Spence Garcia, Spence Thurman Garcia rematch, Porter Spence Crawford. If they can't find a way to get that one done, they're going to be in some big trouble. And Al Heyman has shown himself in the past to be someone who, to quote my good friend Rick Glazer, he's been an obstructionist of a lot of fights in boxing. And sometimes it takes fights longer to happen. And he wants overpaying fighters. So when it comes time to actually make the big fights happen, his fighters have unrealistic demands. So I'm going to have to agree with Eddie Hearn and Bob Arum, man. And as far as I'm concerned, as far as promoters go in boxing right now, that's number one and number two. I got Eddie Hearn number one, and Bob Arum number 2. And you can flip it them, but they're both number 1 and number 2. So they both know what they're doing. They both have they both have all the best fighters in boxing. You know, as far as draws, as far as pound for pound wise, they have the most fighters on the pound for pound list, Eddie Hearn and Bob Arum. So with that being said, man, let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think like Showtime boxing could be sustainable now with the zone, with what they're doing? To me, that's a question I think we're gonna have to see. Wait and see. Only time will tell. But I think it's good for the sport. I think it's good for the health of the sport that we have competition, because for so long we didn't have competition. It was just HBO running things, and then Showtime was running things. But now it's like, okay, you got the zone, you got Showtime, you got you can't even say you got Golden Boy anymore, because Golden Boy is still doing its thing. But Golden Boy has brought Canelo over to the zone, so you got to think that Golden Boy is going to start bringing more of its fighters to the zone. So things are changing in boxing, and I think as fans we need to recognize that. And I just think it's really good what we're seeing from platforms like the zone that's making boxing more accessible to the fans. So I like it. But let me know what you guys think. Do you agree? Do you think that Showtime could be on its way out the door, much like HBO, in the next, let's say 24 to 36 months? Let me know in the comments down below. Take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single video, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just kidding. So until next time, take care, guys.